Every great business starts with a brilliant idea, right? But a truly successful business, that starts with a plan. And today, we're digging into the very first chapter of that plan, the official rulebook. We're talking about business licenses and why getting this stuff right from day one is, well, it's the foundation for everything you're about to build.
So, you've got it. That amazing, game-changing idea. The passion project that you are absolutely ready to bring to life. You can feel the excitement building. You can almost taste success. You're ready to hit launch. And honestly, that is an incredible feeling.
But hang on just a second. Before you go live, there's this one critical step that really separates the dreamers from the doers. And no, it's not marketing, it's not even funding, it's legal compliance. And look, I know that sounds boring, but trust me, it's not just a chore. It's the very first real challenge that every single successful founder has to conquer. Okay, so let's get into it. If you want to win the game of business, you gotta know the rules. It's that simple. And that means you need to master the official rulebook of licenses and permits. So what exactly is legal compliance? Well, put simply, it's just the requirement to follow all the government regulations. But the real purpose here is what's important. These rules exist to make sure businesses operate safely, ethically, and legally. It's all about protecting consumers and really the public as a whole. Now, here's the thing. Compliance is definitely not a one-size-fits-all deal. The rules you need to follow, they depend completely on what your business does and where you're doing it. You've got your general operating permits, tax registrations, and then more specific stuff like health and safety certificates or special approvals for industries like food service or finance. So how does this all fit together? Well, getting your business legally compliant is almost never about just checking one single box. It's about building a complete checklist and understanding that this isn't a one-and-done thing. It's an ongoing process. Abstract rules are one thing, but seeing them play out in the real world, that makes all the difference. So to make this really concrete, we're going to take a look at an example from Jakarta. Let's see what it actually takes to open a brand new restaurant there. Here it is, the legal recipe for our Jakarta restaurant. First up, they need that general business license, called the SIUP. Then, because they're handling food, this is key, a food safety certificate is absolutely mandatory. And finally, to handle all the money side of things, they need a taxpayer ID number, the NPWP. You see how all these different layers of regulation come together for just one business? And believe it or not, the rulebook can get even bigger. For a lot of businesses, compliance goes way beyond just permits. We're talking about things like intellectual property laws to protect your brand, labor laws for your team, or even environmental regulations. The big takeaway here is that you have to understand the full picture for your specific business. All right, so what happens if you decide to just skip a few pages in that rulebook? Well, this is where it gets serious. The stakes are incredibly high, and honestly, this is where a lot of new businesses trip up before they even get a real shot at succeeding. The consequences are pretty severe, and they're very straightforward. We're talking about steep fines that can totally drain your cash flow, being forced to shut down your operations entirely, or even facing direct legal action. These aren't just little risks. These are potential business enders. Okay, but enough of the doom and gloom. Let's pivot, because this whole thing isn't about fear. It's about strategy. Getting compliance right isn't just about avoiding punishment. It's about building a stronger, more trustworthy, more resilient business from the ground up. This is the real payoff. Just look at the two paths laid out here. On one side, you have the constant anxiety of non-compliance, always worried about fines, closure, and losing trust. But on the other side, that's the reward, a solid foundation for your operations, a credible reputation, and the confidence of both your customers and investors. It's a pretty clear choice, right? So let's just spell out those rewards again. When you're fully compliant, you build confidence with your customers. They know you're legit. You attract trust from investors. They see you as a safe bet, not a liability. You enhance your company's entire reputation. And maybe most importantly, you make sure your day-to-day operations can run smoothly without that constant threat hanging over your head. This isn't just good practice, it's a huge competitive advantage. This quote just nails it. Legal compliance is not only a regulatory requirement, but also a credibility factor. It's not just some box you have to tick for the government. It's a powerful signal you're sending to the entire world about the kind of business you are. It is your credibility. So that brings us to the final question, and this one's for you. After everything we've talked about, How do you see it now? Is legal compliance just another annoying burden you have to deal with? Or is it maybe the single strongest foundation you can build for your business? The way you answer that could make all the difference.